Jason disguised himself as a Special Forces soldier and quietly infiltrated the military training camp. While the other soldiers were completely off guard, he secretly pulled a vial from his sleeve and slipped it into his assassination target's coffee cup. Just then, the instructor suddenly ordered everyone to assemble. John, wanting to warm up, quickly downed his coffee in one gulp before heading out for training with the team. However, they hadn't gone far when John began feeling increasingly unwell. Within minutes, his limbs started losing strength, and he collapsed from poisoning, dying right there on the training ground. The next day, this accidental freezing death incident made headlines across major news outlets. Behind it all was the retired professional assassin Jason. Originally, Jason had been living a peaceful, happy life with his girlfriend Mary until a sudden letter shattered their tranquility. The letter brought devastating news. His old partner Mike had been kidnapped. Mike was his most trusted brother who had once saved his life in a critical moment. Learning that his brother was in danger, Jason was filled with rage. Following the clues in the letter, he went to the specified location and entered a room where a desert chieftain was waiting for him. The chieftain claimed to be a KFC owner and said that 3 of his sons had been murdered, with only the youngest still alive. He swore to avenge his dead sons, so he kidnapped Mike to force Jason to eliminate the killers for him. The targets were 2 Air Force special team members. To avoid suspicion, the chieftain demanded that the assassinations be disguised as accidents. Upon completion, he would not only release Mike, but also pay Jason $3 as compensation. To save his brother, Jason had no choice but to agree, though he demanded to see Mike first. The chieftain nodded in agreement and had someone take him to the cell. After confirming Mike was unharmed, Jason planned to escape with him immediately. He asked for water as an excuse, and when the guard brought it, he suddenly knocked him unconscious. But just as the 2 rushed out of the cell, they were blocked by the chieftain's youngest son. With no way out, Jason decided to proceed with the plan. He contacted 2 reliable friends and promised that if they helped rescue Mike, the entire $3 would be theirs. Faced with this fortune, both men immediately agreed. Jason's first target was named Paul. After nightfall, he quietly infiltrated Paul's mansion, pried off a tile in the bathroom, sharpened it into a makeshift hammer, squeezed body wash on the floor, and pulled the shower curtain to create a trap. Then he lured Paul into the bathroom and struck his head with the hammer, ending his life cleanly and efficiently. The next day, news reported that a man had accidentally slipped and died at home. The chieftain was very satisfied upon hearing the news, while Paul's comrade Sean also saw the news. His friend's death seemed suspicious to him. He recalled that the 2 killers who had murdered the chieftain's sons years ago were both his own comrades. Meanwhile, Jason found his final target, Tony. After retiring, Tony had been unable to find suitable work, which made him irritable and prone to conflicts over minor issues. Just as Jason was preparing to strike, Sean suddenly appeared. He had been secretly protecting Tony. To avoid alerting them, Jason had to temporarily retreat. Back at base, they devised a detailed action plan. Jason arranged for his teammate to lure Tony out under the pretense of a job interview while installing jamming equipment on a water truck. The next day, when Tony drove out of the warehouse, the water truck also emerged. His teammate quickly followed, remotely controlling the truck while providing intelligence on Tony's vehicle location. Jason controlled the overall situation from behind. When the time was right, his teammate activated the device, causing the water truck to suddenly lose control and crash directly into Tony's car. Tony couldn't dodge in time and was killed instantly. Just like that, they successfully eliminated both targets. Jason then went to the chieftain, demanding Mike's release and payment of the agreed-upon $3. However, the chieftain's son only agreed to release the prisoner first, saying they would pay the reward only after confirming they hadn't killed the wrong people. Without hesitation, Jason took Mike away. After all, rescuing his friend had always been his primary objective. Jason returned to his girlfriend's side, planning to retire from this life. He thought everything was over. But that night, he received a call from the chieftain. It turned out there had been an error with the second target's mission, and the chieftain demanded he execute it again. However, Jason had no intention of getting involved again since Mike was already safe. Unexpectedly, the chieftain threatened his girlfriend's life. After hanging up, Jason rushed to his girlfriend's room and saw she was safe, which gave him some relief. Just then, he noticed something unusual on the pillow. Picking it up, he saw it was a bullet. He realized his girlfriend was still in danger and had to accept the mission again. Jason then went alone to meet the chieftain, whose son handed him a book and told him the target was the book's author. Jason responded that he could help eliminate the person, but if they bothered his girlfriend again, the next to die would be him. Through clues, Jason learned the author would be holding a book launch today. However, he never expected this was all a trap set by Sean to avenge his fallen comrades. At the launch event, Sean arranged numerous personnel and personally protected the author. Jason quickly arrived at the scene, but Sean didn't have his men take action. The moment Jason pushed open the door, he was blown away by a pre-planted bomb. However, when people removed the helmet, they discovered the victim wasn't Jason. Sean realized he had fallen into a trap. Meanwhile, Jason had already found the author. Without hesitation, Jason fired his gun and then knocked the author unconscious. But he didn't kill him. Instead, he hastily took several photos. When Sean arrived, Jason had already quietly left. Sean immediately chased out to look and happened to see Jason escaping, so he ordered his men to surround him. Just like that, Jason was captured. At this point, Sean also discovered the author wasn't dead. It turned out Jason was unwilling to kill innocent people, so he spared the author. Under Sean's interrogation, Jason revealed that the real mastermind was the chieftain, and pointed out that he and Sean were the same type of people, both protecting their friends. Jason told Sean to take the camera to the chieftain, as it contained photos of the author's fake death. Sean then took the photos to the chieftain and, while the chieftain was examining them, quickly struck and killed him, avenging his comrades. The chieftain's son, to save his own life, claimed he saw nothing. Sean didn't harm him, but simply took the $3 reward and left. But just as he walked out the door, Jason spotted him and realized he intended to flee with the money. Jason and Mike immediately drove in pursuit. The two engaged in a chase through the desert, with Mike finally shooting out Sean's tires, forcing him to stop. After getting out, Jason held him at gunpoint. Learning that the chieftain was dead, Jason let Sean go. Since Sean had killed the chieftain and stolen the reward, his days would never be peaceful again. Meanwhile, Jason and Mike could walk away unscathed. At the story's end, Jason reunited with his girlfriend, and the two began living a sweet, happy life together.